Hello and welcome back to this video series on getting started with InDesign. In this particular video we're going to focus on threading text. If you notice down at the bottom right hand corner of this text box there is a little red square with a red plus sign inside of it. This indicates that there is what's called overset text. Overset text simply means that there is more text than will fit into the text box. Also notice that down in the bottom left hand corner of the work area I have a red circle and next to it says one error. So let's go about fixing this overset text, and we're going to thread it onto the next page. If I click on that overset text icon, that little square with the plus sign, and then I'll have to click again. So the first click just selects the text box, the second one will allow me to set the overset text as a loaded cursor. If you remember from one of the previous videos, when we placed an image into InDesign, it comes in as a loaded cursor with a little preview of the image that you're going to place. So if you have multiple images, it would have the image plus a number of the images that you're placing. But it has a little thumbnail. Here we have a little thumbnail that shows the text that we're going to thread onto the next page. I'm going to double click on page 2, and I'm going to take my loaded cursor up to the top left hand corner of the margins and just simply click once. You can see now that it's created a text box, and this text box fills this entire first column. So as this is a 3-column structure, it's just going into about a third of the page. If I had a if I had a column structure that was 2 columns, it would end up filling about half the page. And if I had 1 column, it would go across the entire page, so the text would be across all 3 columns. I'm going to make this text box a little bit smaller. I'm going to bring it up to that guide right there. And now you'll notice that we have that overset text icon again, the little red square with a plus sign. So again, I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to go to the top left hand corner of the next column and just simply drag out this time. And I'm going to make a text box exactly the size that I want it. So not only can you click to create a full column of text, but you can also click and drag to make a text box exactly the size you want it. The other thing I'd like you to notice is that we have these text thread indicators here. So we have these blue lines that represent where the text is flowing. So it's flowing from the bottom of this text box into the top of this text box, and then the text goes all the way down to the bottom, and then it flows back up to the next column. I'd also like to point out that it is not necessary to go from one page to the next page. So for instance, if you're working on a newspaper, it is extremely common to have articles on the first page that don't have the entire article. It just has the start of the article, and then it'll say continued on, say, page 37. You'd then click on the overset text, go to the page that you want the text to continue on, and you do the same thing that we did here. Also note that now down here at the bottom it says no errors, and we have a little green circle rather than a red circle. If I go up to View, Extras, I can go to where it says hide text threads, and then we no longer see those text threads. Sometimes those can be annoying when you're working on a project and you've got text threads going all over the place, but they can also be very useful. So if you're working on a project where particularly complicated files where you have text going from one column to another column and from one page to another page, sometimes it's difficult to figure out exactly where all the text is going. So those can be a very useful indicator. If you're just starting with your InDesign and you've never used those text thread icons before, or those that view before, then if you go to View, Extras, and go to Show Text Threads, you can bring them back. So by default they're off, but you can show them whenever you want, and again you can turn them back off again. And notice that there is also a keyboard shortcut for that. So if I choose Hide Text Threads, next to that it says Option Command Y. On a PC that would be Alt Control Y, and then we can turn them on and off by using the keyboard shortcut. So that's all I needed to cover in this video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye.